Hey, this is Blair Kerkhoff with the Kansas City Star and KansasCity.com. I'm here with Big 12 Commissioner Bob Bowlsby. And Bob, the first thing I want to ask you is, this is, I think I heard at the press conference, the 6th year at Sprint Center and the 13th year for the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City. It's contracted here through 2016. What kind of steps are we going to take to, for the future of the tournament beyond 2016?
Well, we're actually having those conversations right now. I'm meeting with Kathy Nelson and Brenda Tynan tomorrow, and we're beginning to talk about those kinds of things. It's been a great site for us. It's been a city that we really embrace, and I think the city embraces us. And so we have nothing but positive thoughts about going forward in Kansas City. Having said that, there are some reasons why going through an RFP or some sort of bidding process every once in a while isn't a bad idea. So we really don't know yet what the process will be, but Kansas City is always going to be in our future.
You're the commissioner for the 2nd year, and both years you have been the commissioner. The women's tournament and the men's tournament have been separated. For the first 15 years or so, they were together. How about the future of that concept? Will there be some discussion about perhaps bringing them back together at some point, or how has it worked with the separate cities?
We have those conversations on a continual basis. It has worked very well. We had great crowds, and it was a great setting in Dallas last year. Oklahoma City folks did a wonderful job this year. From our staff standpoint, it really works well to have them in consecutive weekends, because it allows more of us to get to where we need to get to. Now, that's not a real high priority, because we've done it other ways, and we'll look at doing it that way again. Unfortunately, I think the women's tournament kind of takes a second fiddle on most occasions, and that's really unfair, because our women's basketball is the best in the country. And so doing the separate weeks really gives us a chance to feature women's basketball. And if anybody can have a standalone tournament, and not many do, but if anybody can have a standalone tournament, I think the Big 12 can. And so it's a constant evaluation. We need to talk to our coaches, we need to talk to our administrators, and we need to think about the logistics of having them both in the same city at the same time. So it's an ongoing topic, and one that I think that reasonable people could disagree on it, but we've had a very good experience having them separated.
We're standing in the middle of Grand Avenue with Sprint Center behind us and the Power and Light District in front of us. And this year, for the first time in more than a decade, we're going to sell beer and wine in the Sprint Center for the men's tournament. And I think part of that is the fact that where we're standing, it gets traffic from the Power and Light District maybe into the Sprint Center a little easier than in the past. Can you comment on that?
Well, we hope we will. The reason for the change is really to provide an amenity that is typically provided in the building and is expected, I think, in public assembly facilities in general. And we think, it's a predominantly adult crowd, and we think that they'll handle it very responsibly. And I think that it also will contribute, we hope, to getting people more easily into the building and having a better flow in and out of the facility. And so we're excited about that. I think the Sprint Center folks are excited about it. We will be doing likewise at the baseball championship in the spring, and we sold beer and wine at the women's championship in Oklahoma City, and it went very, very well. So it's a trial process, but one that we think is appropriately timed and will have a positive effect and be a good amenity for our fans.
Commissioner, thank you very much for your time. This is Blair Kerkhoff with the Kansas City Star, KansasCity.com. Follow the coverage of the Big 12 tournament in the Star.